Hello guys, welcome to another video that nobody asked for, but I decided to record on my own. And why is that? Well, I detected several people making common mistakes, and I mean those are only the people that talk to me, that approach me, and that ask me to verify their work. But at the same time, I wanted to see a way I could get everyone to observe this. So I was only gonna make a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation, and just let you guys walk through the presentation on your own. But I decided to go with this since it's a little bit more interactive in a way, and you have my explanation attached to it. It's not just what we say there. I mean, I think you're gonna get the idea from the very first slide that we have, or the very first example of a common mistake that we have. But yeah, hopefully this can help you out and it's not too late. We still have all of the week to continue working on editing your essays before you hand it in. Your own paragraph, make sure you tweak it enough so it does not have as many mistakes. And yeah, let's get right into it. I'm gonna try and keep this as short as possible. So paragraph structure. So it's very common for a lot of people to make this mistake, and there it is right there. So please do not hit enter. I mean, if you're writing it on a piece of paper, don't skip, don't leave any blank spaces. And I'm pretty sure everyone is doing it on the computer, so just don't hit enter. If you do that, then well, let's analyze this one and see what's up. So I want everyone to observe the example. Okay, observe the example. So right here, this is what somebody gave me and told me this was their paragraph. Okay, so right here, if you're thinking, well, that's not a paragraph, teacher, well, then you would be correct. But if you were not thinking that, then let's break it down. So here we have three paragraphs. So that would be one, that would be two, and that would be three. This is the most common mistake I've seen people make, and it is just hitting enter for a reason. For some reason, I mean, I understand that you guys want to break up what what you consider your topics to be, but remember the paragraph is a compare and contrast paragraph. So you're supposed to compare and contrast both elements in the same paragraph. You're not supposed to hit enter and do it in a separate paragraph. That's why you have your topic sentence, right? The topic sentence is going to tell you what the paragraph is going to be about. In this case, you're going to be talking about both things that you're comparing and contrasting. Okay, so just right off the bat, do not do this. Most common mistake I've seen. And oh yeah, I kind of forgot to say, but please, if this is your text, do not feel offended by any means. I mean, I really appreciate when I get mistakes that we can share with everyone. I'm not saying who wrote anything here, so everything is completely anonymous. And yeah, just please do not feel bad or anything. There's I mean, I had a lot of mistakes to choose from. I just landed on this one, so yeah. I mean, don't worry, if it wasn't this one, I would have grabbed another one. But yeah, most common mistake number one. Now, what about punctuation and types of sentences? Now, I don't know if you saw the style of the first one, and that was the way this was intended. It was intended for it to just be a presentation. However, I decided to do the voiceover and actually explain everything so you guys can see a little bit more of an explanation and not just what I'm limited to do in writing. So yeah, for this one, we don't have anything written. It's just me explaining. So let's dive into most common mistake number 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 and 5. Yeah, a lot. So this is the same example, right? So right here, besides the fact that we have 3 different paragraphs, what else can we check? Well, let's see. Street dogs and pet dogs have the same have different levels of security. Okay, if this is our topic sentence, let's check our concluding sentence and see if it matches that one. There we go. Let's see. It is important to provide every dog with the best conditions to live to ensure their safety, happiness, and well-being. It doesn't really 100% match the topic sentence. So, I mean, here we're saying that it's important to provide them, but here we're just saying that they have different levels of security. So we would have to revisit this concluding sentence and make sure it matches the topic sentence. So we have to remember the most basic element of the concluding sentence, which is it's the same thing as it has the same message as the topic sentence. You just say it with different words. So imagine when you want to copy a friend's assignments, but you don't want to expose them or know yourself. So you just want the credit. You're just paraphrasing, right? You want to paraphrase to a point where it's not exactly the same, but it has the same idea. That's what you want to do with the concluding sentence. Make sure it's the same idea as the topic sentence, just with different words. All right, just paraphrase. And you can make it longer, you can make it shorter. Either one, but yeah. One more thing that I want to mention from here is that let me actually explore a little bit more. But another thing that I've noticed is that people forget to highlight. They forget to highlight the different types of sentences. Okay. Remember, we need at least one simple, one compound, and one complex that are highlighted. You guys can have many more. The only reason why I asked one of each is because I don't want to limit you to only using to forcibly using 3 of each one or 2 of each one. So yeah, I just want to see 1 of each one so I know that you can make them and I know you can identify them. For everything else, just go nuts, do whatever you want. In terms of types of sentences, just make sure that they are correct. Another thing is you also have to underline the transitions and connectors that you're using for compare and contrast. So like, for example, on the other hand, that would be that would have to be underlined there. Let me check something else. Let's continue reading a little bit. Okay. Let's leave this for now. It was just a highlighting part. Now let's go to another one here. Now again, like I said, I don't have a script for this, so this is just me checking it out on the spot. This is live recording. All right, let's check this one. So again, topic sentence says when an animal lives on the street, it may be alone most of the time. Nobody strokes them, and nobody plays with them. So okay, so our topic sentence would be all of this. It's just all of this. So this is another thing that I noticed. A lot of people tend to kind of write supporting sentences as their topic sentence. Now, this as a sentence might not be incorrect, but I don't think we want that much of a long topic sentence, especially if we check the concluding sentence, right? They don't have to worry about anything. So right here, these don't really match, right? I'm kind of covering some of it, my bad. Like, I'm sorry. My pulse with the mouse is really horrible. But yeah, you can see they don't match at all. So what I suggested that this person did was just add something else at the beginning. Add a topic sentence. What is this paragraph gonna be about? And they did. They actually added something like they don't have to worry about anything. Something that has to do with this one. Okay. But we always want to try and make it impactful, but at the same time keep it I mean, it's kind of hard to land with a perfect topic sentence. We have to remember that it can't be too specific, otherwise it turns into a supporting sentence, but it cannot be too vague since we want the reader to know what to expect in the paragraph, right? So yeah, we can add something here on the top. Just what can the reader expect to have to read, in this case, in the paragraph, that we're comparing and contrasting? And do we want to persuade the reader? Do we want to say that something is better than something else, or not so much? Do we just want to present the information? That's what you have to remember also, okay? Let's continue checking here. Okay, yeah, we had already done, like, you guys can see that this was initially a comma, but it was changed to a semicolon. So you always have to remember, do I have a complete idea? So if we analyze this is a complete idea, right? One complete idea. And then this one is another complete idea. That one right there. That makes them unhappy. So we can use a comma to join them unless you're using a fanboy. So what we did was, we'll change the comma for a semicolon. That way it's still a compound sentence. So it works as a compound, right? So please make sure that you're checking types of sentences. If you don't remember, I urgently ask you to go watch the video, revisit it. I mean, it's not really complicated at all. It's just identifying subject, predicate. If you have a subject and you have a predicate, that's a complete idea. Now, if you have a subordinating conjunction before the subject, now that becomes a dependent clause. And that's how we make complex sentences, right? If you don't know what a subordinating conjunction is, go to the presentation. I have all the list of subordinating conjunctions are right there. I mean, you can find them there. So just look for them. If you find one there, then it's not, like, for example, we have a when right here, right? If I identify this, I know this is a dependent clause. So it's that easy. You just have to identify things, and you can start building your sentences from there. Yeah, just make sure you do not overuse the commas. Otherwise, you end up with really long sentences like this one. It starts here and it finishes here. And we don't really want to do that. In most cases, sometimes you do want to do that, but in most cases you don't. Trust me, you do not. And especially since you guys are supposed to be trying to get simple, compound, and complex types of sentences, so make sure you add pauses. Also, it helps out with the seriousness of the essay itself when you add a pause. All right, let's go to the next one. If you do have questions, leave them in the comments or send me a message on WhatsApp, like, hey teacher, I didn't understand, or I saw something that I wanted you to explain in the video. I mean, I might answer in the chat if you do actually leave something in these comments or in the WhatsApp group. Either way, just ask me stuff, okay? All right, and we have this last one. So this last one was from the previous activity we did, but what I want to highlight here, I mean, this is one paragraph. Perfect, right? This is perfect, one paragraph. However, what sometimes happens is that we tend to overlook, again, types of sentences. So this is this a compound sentence? Now you might look at it and, like, actually pay attention to it, but you might look at it and you might say, well, it does have a fanboy and a comma, it must be a compound sentence. Now you have to remember, for it to be a compound sentence, you need two independent ideas joined by a fanboy and a comma. Two independent ideas, again, we want to remind everyone, subject, predicate. So we got a subject here, and this is our predicate. Why? Because the verb is right there, is. Now, after the end, after our fanboy, do we have a subject? The answer is no. We start straight with the verb. So this would be another predicate. So, like, from the example video that I made for you guys, you might remember this is compound predicate. But it's the same subject. This same subject works for both of them. So it's still a simple sentence. This is not a compound sentence. This is another common mistake that I see. People just see a fanboy and they want to add a comma in front of it because the sentence is kind of long, so you get sidetracked. Always look for those subjects, look for those verbs, okay? And another very common thing, Sometimes people add like transitions and connectors at the beginning of a sentence, but do not add the comma. You need commas with these guys. Like for example, with equally, we got equally right here. Equally, and then lasagna is made, and then you would do that, and then in the same way, you would use another comma right there. So make sure you add those. Don't omit it, please. Okay, let's see this one, the one that says otherwise. Yeah, commas all around. Commas all around. So it says bolognese spaghetti comes in various shapes, including quartz tubes and ribbons, while lasagna sheets are wide flat. Is this a complex sentence? If your answer is yes, then you are correct. You have a dependent clause. How do I know it's a dependent for the 5th time? In this video, we have a subordinating conjunction. So subordinating conjunction plus your subject and predicate, they make a dependent clause. Everything else is independent clause. These are just a bunch of examples, but it does work. All right, so these are just some things that I notice people making mistakes with, just the common comma mistakes. Let's kind of recap. Let me go back a little bit. The overuse of commas, because in Spanish we use commas like for everything. Instead of using periods, you just use commas. And in English, it doesn't really flow unless you have a fanboy. So yeah, I mean, that's what you want to look at. And yeah, hopefully this was not extremely long. I mean, I did make it with the best intentions at heart, which is for you guys not to make as many mistakes in this project. So hopefully you did at least learn a little bit from it, and you check what we're checking here. Check it in your own writing. Look for those things. Don't as much as I like you guys asking, don't just go and ask me straight up. I need you guys to go check your own text, check your partner's text, they check yours, and that's the best way. That's the only way that you guys are going to learn. Obviously, once you've checked each other and you can't find anything, go ask me 1,000 times if you have to, until you understand. But please, you also need to get the practice yourselves. It's not just me helping you out, it's you guys also getting the practice and learning and looking for the subjects and adding the subordinators and all that. But yeah, I'll see you in class. Hopefully this helped out at least a couple people and you don't have as many mistakes. Take care, and I will see you.